Hey, it's John Nolan here. Listen, I could tell you that gas prices are going up, food prices are going up, inflation's going up, but you already know that. When it comes to important life decisions in my life, I pay close attention to my intuition and to the science that I'm getting. And lately, more and more people from the food industry, trucking industry, packaging industry have been telling me, listen, a big crash is coming. We're going to have huge food shortages. And I pay attention to that. People are moving out to the country. They're growing their own food. That's exactly what everyone needs to do. But also prepare in the short term, have emergency food ready. That's why we partnered with My Patriot Supply. So if you hop over to preparewithinspired.com, you can save $150 on a 3-month emergency food supply kit today. We just encourage you to look it up. If this is the right thing for you, do it now. Go over to preparewithinspired.com. Hey, Inspired Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers. Thank you so much for being here. It's John Nolan here, and I'm excited that you're joining us for another journey today here. Thank you also for subscribing, hitting the like button, sharing this with your friends if you feel inspired to do so. Today I want to talk about something that was sometimes a difficult subject, especially when you talk to people one-on-one or when you work with people one-on-one or even in a group setting like we just recently did with the Yato retreat down in Florida where we had about 25 people for a deep experience. And one of the things that we tell them from the get-go is that everything that they're seeking, and this is really important to understand, really everything that they're seeking is outside of their comfort zone. All the great stuff that you want in your life, all the changes, all the transformation, the expansion really calls for you to get uncomfortable for a while. And what do I mean by that? One of the greatest teachers today of that principle is Wim Hof. If you don't know him, look him up. He's got a ton of material out there. He's also called the Iceman. And really, Wim Hof is a spiritual teacher, but he makes it a point to not show it. So he uses language that is very much within the mainstream realm, and he's trying to demystify the most important processes of our lives. You know, he could just as easily call it meditation and all the other things that we call it, but he's going about it in a more mainstream way in terms of his language. But what is he teaching people? Wim Hof is known as the Iceman because he's able to, with his breath and focus, to completely take control over his body temperature, over his immune response. And he's proven this over and over. And he's taught countless other people, now probably hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people, on how to get in control of their lives again, their health, their happiness, and everything else in between, their balance. And truthfully, we have been led into a state of complete artificial comfort, right? We don't have to regulate anything ourselves anymore. There's an AC and there's heating, there's super warm clothing, there's all of these things that detach us from the necessity of actually becoming fully self-actualized beings again. Now, all of this is not natural to us, but that's the whole point. The point is that we become dependent on all these things, on these technologies, on these systems, and we don't know what we're capable of. But Wim Hof has shown that he can fight off E. coli bacteria in clinical circumstances. You know, he was infused with the bacteria. Thousands of people that were tested couldn't do it. He could do it. He could withstand it. He stayed completely healthy during it, just using his focus and breath. And then they said, well, you're a freak of nature. They said, no. He said, no, I'm really not. I can teach others. And in 4 days, he taught a group of people to do it, and they came out with the same result. And this is just one of the amazing things he's done. He stayed immersed for hours at a time in ice water. He can hold his breath for God knows how many minutes. He climbed Mount Everest in his bare feet. So there are so many stories of Wim Hof, and he started out just like everyone else, just a kind of a feeling inside that there's more and that there's deeper capabilities within him, that he has greater potential than what he was being taught by mainstream biology, mainstream science, mainstream religion, mainstream everything. The truth for this is to find out what you're truly made of. You need to go beyond your comfort zone in all areas of your life. This has been our experience over and over again. Everything that we ever desired in our lives was outside of our comfort zone. If it is in our comfort zone, we would already have or live it, but we were not. So we had to step outside of it into the unknown. Like when I first got introduced to Wim, I decided to really test it out. So Christina and I would go to the lake. That was back when we lived in Austria. We would go to the lake in winter and swim every day for a few minutes in alpine winter temperature. And it would get better and better. We would do the breath work. It would get better and we could stay longer. And the effects that it had on us were just absolutely amazing, from the way we felt, the energy that we had, the improved health and well-being, all of those things. But this translates to every area in your life. We have been led into an artificial comfort zone that does not serve us. So if we really want to change the future, if we really want to change the world, if we really want to bring this beautiful, loving, kind, and self-sufficient future about, we need to start here and now with us and really regaining these capabilities. I encourage you, first step, if you haven't yet, go check out Wim Hof and his YouTube channel and the tons of free material that he's offering there. Go just from there, but there are other great teachers who are doing this too. Start with breath work every day. Go into a 2-3 minute exercise. Again, you can look this up on YouTube. We've done challenges on that and we will continue to do it. But you may need to make a decision that you're going to get out of what you perceive to be your comfort zone. Maybe start with turning off the AC or turning off the heating, depending on where you are, and begin to tolerate the natural environment again. Go out into nature, reharmonize with it. We're capable of so much when we begin doing this again. And the more you become aware of how much you're capable of, the more you will be capable of doing. It's just this chain reaction. And I can just tell you that strength very seldom is directly just connected to muscle mass. Strength, again, is an inner process. We have, I want to say there's 70-80% of our potential that's untapped. Our potential of well-being, of happiness, of healing, of all the processes that we could possibly optimize in our body. And breath is the number one thing, because we're shallow breathers. That's how we've been taught. We were never actually initiated into a healthy breathing system. Breathe deeper, but breathe less, which slows down your heartbeat. All of these things. But bottom line, you have to be willing to leave your comfort zone in every area. And that means in the beginning, that feels very, very challenging to the body. And there's a reason why. We've talked about this, but it's important to repeat. Whenever you start something new, like let's say a breathing exercise or a meditation or going to the gym, you have the initial rush of the newness of it, right? You're excited. You don't know what to expect. You've heard great things about it. And so your body produces these anticipation hormones. And this, it sustains you for a few days or maybe a few weeks. But then when the newness of it, the novelty of it kind of, subsides, the old patterns, the old programming of the body comes up. It wants its comfort zone back. That's why after a few weeks, people stop going to the gym or stop doing the new practice, because their body is still programmed the old ways. And it is literally a program that's running. So what you have to do is use your willpower and inspiration and motivation as much as you can muster it up, and show up every day until you have reprogrammed the body to the new experience. The chemical processes in the body need to be reprogrammed, so you need to show up. And this is where the deception comes in, why so many people say, especially when they're spiritually inclined, it just doesn't feel right today. No. So often when you say it doesn't feel right, it's not intuition, it's not higher guidance, it's just the body craving what it's used to rather than what would be best for it. The body in itself, it is a computer, so it runs a program that you program it with. So we encourage you that if you find something new, like breath work and meditation, which belong together, exercises, or anything else, Qigong or Taekwondo or Jiu-Jitsu or yoga or whatever it is that you feel inspired to do, keep showing up until your body itself wants you to show up, because it has been reprogrammed. That's when beauty begins to happen. It is repetition. It is showing up until it becomes the new normal again. That's just something that will release so much. And as I said, seek for the teachers who lead you into this unknown zone. Dr. Joe Dispenza does it. He's a wonderful teacher who does exactly that. All the great stuff is in the unknown, and those who simply seek to keep you in the comfort zone and give you the endorphins in your comfort zone, well, they're in it for themselves, not for your highest well-being. That's just my experience, because that's the easiest way. To just do something with you, keeps you in your comfort zone, makes you happy for the moment, and makes you feel like, I've done something great with you here. But really, that's not the case. All the great stuff is outside of the comfort zone, and what that means is, first is outside of it, then we expand into it, and then it becomes our new comfort zone until we expand further and further and realize we don't actually need a comfort zone when we're fully present in the moment and in charge of our true capabilities. So again, begin the journey today. I encourage you to start with breath work, meditation, or if you don't want to call it meditation, just quiet time. And first step would probably be to check out Wim Hof. And if you've already done it, revisit it. Give yourself another opportunity to grow and expand today. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for being here with us on this journey. We love you. We appreciate you. And we'll be with you again very, very soon.